everyone. Good morning. I actually have slides. Is it okay to share my slides?
Yes, please.
Hi, Remy Dyer. Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity to speak to some really phenomenal people on your platform. I deeply appreciate the invitation, and I'll just quickly get right onto it, if that's okay. Can I go ahead and share?
Yes. So
Yeah,
can you
Eh,
let me make you
okay, I'm not yet enabled.
just a minute. Just keep talking. I'll do that as well.
All right, so how is everyone? I am StephREDD, and without being told, it's really just because I love red. Nothing exceptional, something exceptional about it. My love for red drives me to want to carry it on my name. So
Okay.
as I've already been introduced, I am an identity and a communication coach certified. And my passion for that was pretty because I wanted to help be able to guide people through the various challenges of
Go
their
ahead.
identity and their ability to communicate that identity effectively in a world where so many things are dragging and tugging at us. And I really hope that, thank you. And I really hope that I would be able to communicate with you, to you, on a quite a beneficial platform today. So please join me. I'm just going to really rush through because I figure I have about 20 minutes, Remy. Do I have 20 or 30?
20, please.
20. Okay, so let's get straight to it. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome to my session. I know you've been here since, but welcome to my session. I've already had a bit of brief introduction. I am StephREDD, but let me just go through to it. I'm talking about the new workplace dynamics and from the aspect of identity and communication dimension. Now, in 2020 was quite an interesting year. It was an interesting year, however I want to see it, whether positively or negatively. And before 2020, we were trapped in all kinds of routines, in whatever routine that it was, whether it was a business routine or work routine or relationship routine, we were just trapped in routines, right? And sometimes for many people, they hadn't quite defined why they were running, where they were running to, how fast they needed to run, how long they were going to run for. And one of the most important things I need us to be able to do, wherever it is we are in our business, in our career, wherever it is that we're transitioning, we have to be able to define why we are running. Define why we are running so that we can effectively define the chase before we get on the race. To know whether we will need to do a quick dash or whether we need to do a marathon, because the kind of strength that you will need to do a marathon, rather the kind of stamina you would require to do a marathon is not the kind of speed that you require to do a sprint. So while a sprint will require a quick dash requires sprint, which is a 100-meter race, you can't sprint on a marathon because you will lose strength, right? And one of the things I came to observe, having been in the workplace and studied, having been in human resources, and actually seen a lot of people go through their careers, even after that, there is very few people that make intentional decisions as to why they run and how they run so that they can determine how effective they run. And when you sometimes ask them, they just say such things like, I'll see what I can do time for, because time will never really be enough. I'm too busy, I'm not sure. And went on that cycle up until we had that disruption of 2020. And the disruption totally threw many people off their feet. And we are now in the place of, well, we have actually gone past the new normal. We have already activated the new normal and we're leaving the new normal. But for some people, they haven't quite found their balance. Now, about one of the things that I believe propels us or propels those in the workplace is the World Economic Forum of what will be required in the year 2020. So in 2018, the prediction that this will be the requirements of the workplace, right? Complex thinking, complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, cognitive flexibility. So that was what was predicted. But one thing that World Economic Forum did not predict was the coronavirus, which totally came and changed the world's dynamics and changed the way everybody saw even life itself, and changed the way we perceived things, and changed everything we ever thought, knew, or believed in, and threw a lot of people off their feet. So they did that. But now the interesting thing, they're now predicting for 2022, which is a year away, that there are going to be these 10 emerging jobs, and there are going to be 10 defining jobs. 10 emerging jobs being data analysis, AI and machine learning, general operations, sales and marketing, all the way to information technology, where there's 130 clerks, accounting, admin, auditor said, my work too, right? These are the things that are going to be in the decline. And then 2025, this will be them solving still. Tolerance, flexibility. There was a spike in mental health disorders, emotion, force decisions in 20 because of the pressure and the change of the dynamics of the work. There are many organizations from home. There were some people now, there were many people that actually used work as a place of escape from a home that they actually just felt they didn't want to be part of, but they had to be in it. So running to work was a good way to escape and then come back in the evening and just sleep and wake up early in the morning and get out. But now you have to stay in it with the same people or persons that you're trying to avoid. And there was a huge spike in mental disorders. Now, this is what is required in 2025. If 2020 was just one, we don't know what the future will hold. While we are hopeful and anticipate, how prepared are we mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically to ensure that we're able to stand through any kind of tests? And then even more in 2025, it's been predicted that there 50% of jobs will need reskilling, of employees will need to reskill. So the question now is, where are you now? These are growing trends. And maybe even before that 2025, there will be another requirement. So how do you now ensure that where you are, you can find a balance progressively? I like to use the example of pure water. No, ice water. And I say if ice water had foresight, ice water would have considered the transition to pure water, what we call sachet water, and then prepared for the transition to bottled water, and even to the new kind of water where they call H2O. So that's the slogan, or what they call it, says even water will be jealous. So that is transition. So the question is, how ready are we to transit? How ready are we to remain relevant on our jobs? Why should an employer keep us? Why should a client patronize us? Through time, through seasons, what is that thing that we have that we can constantly bring to the table? And quite importantly, how do we find the balance through a constantly changing world? How do we find our balance? How do we maintain our sanity? How do we ensure that regardless of the ins and outs, we remain steady, we remain ready, we remain fit for the position, right? And one of the things that this thing does, particularly last year, there were a lot of people that lost their identity. Why? Because we found that we tied ourselves to jobs, we tied ourselves to status, we tied ourselves to the car, to the business, to different things that we used to define ourselves. So when someone asks you, who are you? Say, oh, I'm the MD managing director, XYZ company, I do this and that and the other. But the moment COVID hits, and jobs were lost and businesses sank, people lost themselves. Why? Because they had tied everything about themselves to an intrinsic value, such that extrinsic value, I beg your pardon, such that when the extrinsic value was no longer there, there was no connection to an intrinsic motivation that could keep them running. So they lost self-confidence, they lost self-identity, the identity of self. They lost their center, the center couldn't hold, and that's why there was a rise in suicide and depression and all of it. Why? Because there was no center, there was no connection to say, even though I have lost it extrinsically, I have it intrinsically. I can build again. I can hope again. So defining yourself now is not just defining by your name, but if your name, your power, your title, your looks, your influence, your status, your clothing, your makeup, your money, your possession, if everything was taken away, who are you? How do you define yourself with an essence that only you carry? And how do you bring that essence to the center? What exactly is your uniqueness? Your uniqueness without the car, your uniqueness without the business, without the job, without the place of work, without the status and the friends and the money and everything and the ability to travel first class or business class. What is your uniqueness? What do you carry? What is your value? What separates you? What is that thing that is only you that has? It is solo to you, just like you have your thumbprint, just like you have your pupils, just like you're the only one that has the number of hair on your head and the pattern on your head. What exactly is your uniqueness? So that means that we have to come to the place with all the change and everything where we begin to reinvent ourselves and go through the process of self-reinvention. Understand that with every time, the end of every season is a new season. There's never a time where summer ends and something doesn't come next. There's summer, there's winter, there's autumn, there's spring, there's dry season, there's rainy season, there's harmattan, right? How do we ensure that in and out of season, we are consistent, that we carry a uniqueness that is ours, and we can give that uniqueness to the world? So how do we reinvent ourselves? First thing I say, you self-discover. And self-discovery, for you to go through self-discovery, is ask tons of questions to unearth the source of the real you. Next thing, when you self-discover, you become self-aware. And that self-awareness makes you conscious of where you are, your current outcomes. Now, I saw a quotation yesterday that said, life is not difficult because you don't find challenges in life because of what happened to you. I'll rephrase that. The problems you go through or the way you feel is not because of what happens to you, but because of what you choose to do about it. So regardless of the things that you no longer have control of, what can you do with the things you have control of? When you become conscious of your outcome, what do? Do you want to remain the same, or do you want to change? If you want to remain the same, then stay there. If you want to change, then you set a goal for where you want to get to while appreciating where you are. You self-appreciate. Self-appreciate how far you've come. Self-appreciate the good, the bads, and the ugly, the downright messy. Appreciate how far you've come. Appreciate, in our words, say I never die. I am here. What next? A goal. Okay. Gap analysis. I have set a goal for where I want to get to. This is where I am. What do I need to do between where I am and where I want to get to? Next phase, you self-improve. And this is where you now look at the perspectives to say, okay, based on where I want to get to, what do I need to start doing? What do I need to learn? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to unlearn? What do I need to improve on? What do I need to relearn to move me from where I am to where I need to get to? And the next thing is, after you have self-improved, when you repair your car, what do? You try it out, you engage it, you apply. So the new skills that you have engaged, the new acquisitions, whatever it is you have acquired for yourself, you apply it. Now, one of the things that may stop us from applying here is fear. But like Zig Ziglar said, fear is actually face everything and rise, or forget everything and run. And I add, or also figure out everything and relaunch. And I add that because it's not every time you run that you're running to surrender. Because when you run, you could also be running to retreat, not retreat to surrender, but retreat to recalibrate, reinforce, and relaunch. So fear, in my way, will now be figure out everything and relaunch. So you go back and build capacity because you have found out that, okay, this giant that I'm about to take down is stronger than me. What do I need to do to kill it? Because you cannot take down a strong man without first binding the strong man. So go back and gather capacity and engage and face the fear and just do it. When you have done it, what do? You self-evaluate, which is the sixth phase. Evaluate based on the goal that I set for myself and based on what I have done, my outcome, where am I? If you didn't reach the goal, then you go back to self-appreciate. Okay, I appreciate I tried. I am an agama lizard, like the agama lizard, right? I fell from a skyscraper, nobody praised me. I'm not trying, I break one leg. It's okay. I appreciate how far I have come. Now, what next? Go through the process. What could I have done better? What can I learn again from this inability to achieve? You cover that and then go through the process again. However, when you get to evaluation, yet again, if you did well, then you proceed to step 7, which is the phase of self-mastery. Now, you did fantastic. You have achieved it. What next? Do you want to remain here again, or do you want to remain the same, or do you want to change? Because the fact that you have achieved mastery in primary 1 does not mean there is no primary 2. So you have achieved one thing. Achieve what next? You move to the next level and start all over again. And pretty much that's how life goes in cycles. There's a new phase, there's a new stage, there are new achievements, new realities to embrace. And it's like an onion. You just keep peeling a new version of you. And that is what I call the self-re-engineering process, the process of self-re-engineering. That's the word self-re-engineering. So I pretty much coined it from business re-engineering, right? Because business re-engineering is a process where we all know, where we go through the process of finding out, okay, where are we, who are we now, who do we want to be, what are our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And we have to be able, now, if structures and organizations who need people to do this, to identify their process, review it, design it to be, and test and implement, and then take the process all over again so that they ensure that they are leading, lagging, of course, nobody wants to lag, leading or at least matching their competition, and they can project for where they want to get to. How much more us as human beings being able to do that for ourselves, where we go through the process of defining an identity that is uniquely ours, identify our strengths, our weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and find out how to predict the kind of future we want to get predicted, and evaluate constant state of self-evaluation so that we ensure that regardless of what comes or goes, we are ready. We are empowered from within to keep trying, and in my words, never give up until you win. So how do we now ensure through this that with everything that is happening, we have to constantly think out of the box. We have to constantly look beyond the box and not see limitations, right? You want to now ask, what is your passion? What exactly is your passion? I totally like that we're talking about football and all the football lovers here. Really fantastic. We use Ronaldo and we use Messi. And those are, well, sorry, I'm an ancient football lover, right? I may not know the new names, but the 2 footballers that have infused me thus far are Ronaldo and Messi, and for these particular reasons. And I'm asking, so the process of reinventing yourself, you want to ask, what is my passion? And I'll ask you why, I'll tell you why I'm going through path of passion. What is my passion? What is my talent? Right? Now, a passion is a feeling of intense enthusiasm towards a compelling desire for someone, something, or an idea. Passion. A talent is something that you're born with. It's a natural ability to do something without really thinking. When I think of these 2 words, I see passion with Ronaldo, I see talent with Messi, right? Because I think Ronaldo was passionate about something but didn't know how to do it. So he upskilled himself, practicing free kicks for about 8 hours, I gather, every day, so that he becomes precise with every kick. Messi, on the other hand, was born with it. So he had the natural inclination. So he was just practicing and learned to improve himself in the process. But because he had a talent, what would have taken Ronaldo 8 hours would take him most likely 2 hours. Why? Because he had an inborn talent. But the difference, the unity, rather the center where both of them meet is the fact that they both train themselves to move themselves from passion and talent to the place of skill, where it is something that you acquire after putting in a lot of hard work, the ability to do something well, and an expertise that is learned. Right? So either you learn when you are moving it. Now, for some people, they have passion, but they don't know how to do it. So they learn it and they become skilled at it. For other people, they have talent, they know how to do it. So they just seek extra experts in that area to make them skilled at it. Because the fact that you're talented at something doesn't mean you are skilled at that thing. That's what would separate you. For some other people, they don't have passion, they don't have talent. They just acquired it because they want to fit in. But the thing now is, in fitting in, you will need passion to continually fit in, because the time will come where it now becomes mundane. So you have to get to the point where you are able to have passion for what you do, or be passionate about what you do, whatever it is, right? So in all of it, we need to now put ourselves in action in the process of trying to ensure that the new work dynamics does not overwhelm us, we have to ensure that we engage our passion and not just sleep on it, not just leave it at passion level. We have to begin to ask such questions like, what is the potential of our passion? How sustainable it is? What can it create? Who can it benefit? Who else can it benefit? Requires it? What is the problem our passion or our talent can solve? Because in the new competition where jobs have been lost, the work dynamics have changed, 50% of jobs will need to be reskilled. How do you ensure that you remain relevant? So you want to ask, who needs my passion or my talent? What problem is it going to solve? What is the potential of my passion or my talent, right? What price can I put to my passion or my talent, such that I'm able to determine what I would charge, what will make me competitive? Do I want to give a piecemeal parity, or do I want to go for a premium, right? What will it profit me? Because at the end of the day, we all want profit. We all want to make money because we want to live beautiful lives. But you need to have something. Money doesn't just come. Money moves to value. So what is your value? What is that thing that you're going to carry such that even when everything is breaking down, you know, in the middle of the pandemic, people were sweeping to the banks. People were buying properties. People were building structures in the middle of the pandemic. Now, there were people that were working hard. There were people whose jobs suddenly became relevant. So in all of this, how do we ensure that we don't get to that place where we're now wondering, oh, I'm no longer. Everybody has a uniqueness. What is your uniqueness? What is your genius? Right? Your passion needs to have a potential that will attract people to pay a price so that you get profit. Your talent as well needs to have a potential that can attract people, that can put a price to it and give you profit. So you want to ask, what are my skills? What are my talents? And which of them do I frequently engage? Just an activity I'm giving you to do. Which of them do I frequently engage? Albert Einstein, this on the 23rd of June, 2020, I was studying in the middle of the night, studying pretty much on identity and all of that, which is pretty much a place where I spend a lot of time learning. And I stumbled on this quote, and my life has not been the same since then. It said, everyone is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. And it's interesting how many of us on our jobs, in relationships, in businesses, in partnerships, are living stupid lives. Why? Because we are judging ourselves through someone else's lenses. We're seeing our capacity and our potential through someone else's eyes. What is your genius that is unique to you that you can engage every time, in season, out of season, that only you carry? A high talent of creativity and intelligence that you have, an exceptional natural capacity that you have. What is that thing, and how can you turn it into a potential and upskill it so that you'll remain relevant in your different areas? You want to be able to identify everything you carry. What are your positives? What are your negatives? Which of them do you incline towards, and how do you engage them? Okay, how do you engage them? We need to now begin to think out of the box. We need to get out of the box and realize that it is out of the box that we find true success in life. We need to begin to really think out and think of how else to apply ourselves, how else to be the best version of ourselves, and how else to remain relevant in a world that is constantly changing. And not just relevant, not joining the bandwagon or say, oh, this is where it is today, go there. Oh, this is where it is today. You keep going everywhere. I give an example of how it is that, oh, someone sees, because of our geniuses, someone is a fantastic header. His skill is just to be heading ball. So he has strong head to head ball, and he has upskilled himself to know how to head a ball. Another person has learned how to use his knee. He has practiced the excellence of using his knee to catch a ball and using that knee to score the goal. But then the person that used his head to catch the ball and then he headed it to someone else, he's like, see how they're hailing him because of his head. Oh, hey, Chai, I wish I had that kind of head. Let me use my head too. They will hail me. He has forgotten that his genius is his knee. So because he wants to be praised, or because he wants to fit in, he uses his head, a place of no skill, a place of no expertise. What is your place of skill and expertise, and how do you ensure that you constantly use it in your place of work, in your business, and relating with people such that you show up like no other person can show up? Right? And we need to now move away from that place of anxiety or fear, which keeps us in the comfort zone, and embrace and face that fear. I've already told us the options of facing fear. Face everything and rise. forget everything and run, or figure out everything and relaunch. And this thing now is we need to begin to see failure as not final, but failure as a learning experience. So for every time you fail, you want to ask, what can I learn differently? What could I have done differently? How else could I have engaged? How else can I apply myself? It's all why me. My village people have found me. They call my number, I pick. No. What can I learn? What next? I can't take charge of something that has already passed. I have lost control of it, but I still have control of the moment to redefine the kind of future that I want. So take control of the moment and choose in spite of failure to learn. When you learn, you expose your mind to new possibilities. You expose your mind to new things. And what happens? You begin to grow. And from growing, from more growth to another growth to another growth, and you experience life's achievements on different levels. So it's either you win or you lose. So don't tell someone I failed. No, you don't fail. You just learn. You choose. It's how you choose to see it. Do you want to see the glass as half empty, or do you want to see the glass as half full? So at every time you choose, I am going to win. And even if I don't win, I will finish strong. I will learn something different. So what are we going to do? We need to start setting new goals for ourselves, have a new perspective. What does the future of where we want to get to look like? And what's the difference between there and where we are? And what are we going to do about it? How do we reinvent ourselves so that we can be properly positioned, reposition ourselves for societal impact? And also, of course, you can't impact society without first focusing to impact yourself first, right? So this is the time for us to begin to reroute. I tell someone that when many things happen to us, last year, oh, why me? Oh, why me? I need us to do like Google Maps. For every time Google Maps can actually throw you, of course, sometimes. But you need to come to that place of rerouting. What next? How else, if I can't break this mountain down, can I jump over it? Can I run around it? Can I charge through it? But the important thing is I have a goal that is on the other side, and come rain, come sunshine, no matter what comes or goes, no matter what gives in or doesn't, I will not give up until I win. And even if I can't break it down, I will teach someone that is coming after me how to continue in my stead. That is succession planning. So I've been breaking and breaking and breaking. As I'm breaking, I'm teaching someone, this is how I'm breaking. In case I don't finish, take the baton, run with it, and make sure that that goal on the other side, that picture, you achieve it, which is pretty much what the likes of Martin Luther King and Mandela did. That even when Martin Luther King exited, there were people that were willing to run with his vision because they had seen a big picture that was worth living and even dying for. So what is that thing that you're committing yourself to, that you're not just living for, but you're also dying for, whether a work, a business, a relationship, or a partnership? Because for every moment you spend doing something, you have lost a moment in life. You have actually died to that moment because it's past, it can never be retrieved. So for every time you show up at work, for every time you show up in a relationship, for every time you show up in a business, you are living for it and you are dying for it. So you want to ensure that you are living for something intentionally and you're also dying for something intentionally. So regardless of what comes in the new workplace, in the changing world, always learn to reroute. And remember, options are always available. Options are always available. We say it in our local dialect, there are different ways to enter a market. There are different ways to kill a cat. Pause. Learn to pause and think. Learn to pause and evaluate your options and find out what would give you the most optimum outcome, the most optimal results. I'd like to say that these days they're no longer
Sorry for cutting in, Mark. We need to do a little wrap up already.
Right, I'm rounding up. Right.
All right.
So we want to find out how else exactly can we engage and ensure that we get the kind of success that we want. We maintain our sanity, maintain our well-being. We want to ensure that in the middle of all of this, maintain your focus. Do the things that gives you most joy and contentment and peace. Because at the end of the day, whatever you're chasing, if this is not intact, every other thing will not be intact. You will lose that balance. You will lose all of that. So you need to keep your mind and your spirit intact. You need to focus on that thing you're chasing after. Maintain your focus on the things that you have control of, not the things you don't have control of. Be mindful, guard your mind. There's so many negativity around. Guard your mind. It is not the water that is out of the boat that sinks the boat. It is the water that is inside the boat. So what you want to do is to ensure that the water outside the boat does not get into the boat. Be mindful of how you hear, what you hear, because those things are what channels your mental gates and how you feel and how you think and how you respond and react. Look for things that make you laugh. Look for things that laughing is a soothing balm. Laugh frequently and laugh from the depth of your heart. Be kind, be helpful, be supportive. In the middle of this, while you are navigating and trying to find your center, laugh frequently, exercise. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind. Take care of your emotions. Take care of yourself. Get some good endorphin and dopamines that will make you feel good. Exercise will give you that, and just dance. Dance like no one is watching. Dance like nothing is bothering you. And then find time to come to your center and be full of joy that only you can carry. And most importantly, stay connected to your maker. For in him, you have unfathomable peace. And hey, what next? Get a coach, get a certified coach that can help you navigate the challenges and the trials that could come with trying to navigate your work and navigate your business and navigate every other thing, whatever it is that you are trying to achieve. Hey, and after you've done that, get to work. When you get to work, remember that impossible does not exist. But just tweak it and remember that instead of seeing things as impossible, I see myself as possible. Okay? Thank you so much for this opportunity. I will try to do that in the speed of lightning. I am
Thank
StephREDD, and
you.
it's been a fantastic and
This
a
is
fantastic
super
experience, a
amazing.
pleasure being with you. Thank you so much. I'll take your questions at the moment. Bless you.